Here we go.
Are we live?
Uh-huh.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
Fuck.
Sneaks up on you every time.
I don't want to do it now. Hello, everybody. Welcome, of course, to the Brian McCarthy interview show. I am sitting here. Stage left is, of course, Adam Hineker. We were chatting earlier before that. I tell you, the show before the shows, what did we cover? We covered hair pieces, Slender Man.
Reviewed the movie
you ate,
People.
And you ate half a croissant.
I ate a whole croissant.
Well,
I couldn't eat the
you
second
ate one and a half, but you didn't realize the half that you ate had peanut butter and jelly in it.
No. I didn't touch that one.
Oh, at all?
No.
I
ate the full one, the full ham and cheese.
Okay.
Didn't touch the peanut butter and jelly.
Oh, that's why.
That's why I didn't know it was peanut butter and jelly.
I thought you only.
I ate half of it and wasn't aware.
I know that was. I was like, what do you have cancer? Jesus Christ. You're like, what is in this? What's this weird
burning toast?
Yeah, what's this weird stuffing in this thing? I'm like, it's peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
All the kids are eating it. Everybody, welcome to the show. If you can notice, we have a Kenta cloth background. Salam alaikum to all of our Black Watch viewers and, of course, listeners. I don't think we have any. I hope we do. I often feel like I don't have enough Black people in my life. And it's gonna.
You got Desmond. I think that's all you need. Really,
he's and listen. As much as Desmond, you're barely Black. So
his name's Desmond.
No, that's Jamaican. So but Desmond he only likes like young white men. He doesn't. I don't know. I don't have any.
Ooh.
I do wish in my life that I had like some more Black.
Mm-hmm.
We're going somewhere weird here.
I had no idea. We learn about each other every week.
Well, what do you think? Do I look like I have I would. The problem is like
I never thought about it.
Well, the problem is like I'm saying like
you people.
By the way, I saw the movie You People on Netflix. We were talking about that before the show, the Jonah Hill movie. The only good thing about that movie is David Duchovny's performance. The movie's terrible. And Jonah Hill wears completely ridiculous clothes. And I'll tell you one thing that's funny. I lived in Los Angeles. By the way, welcome everybody. If you're watching, thank you. Check in, comment, please like and share. People always say that you should do that when I watch other shows.
Yeah. So, I put it in the little thing. I put smash the subscribe.
Oh my God. Did you really put smash?
I sure did.
You asshole.
I'm a little rascal.
I know. Smash.
Yeah, keep an eye on.
Yep. Hey, guys, hit that bell.
Smash the bell.
Smash the bell.
Welcome back to we should say welcome back to my channel. When you come
good
on,
Lord.
That's another thing.
Yeah. Well,
and you give some kind of a tutorial.
Yeah, I'm gonna unbox a box.
Just unbox packing peanuts and bubble wrap.
Yeah, right. This is just a box of just smaller boxes like those Russian nesting dolls.
That's actually kind of a funny idea. Unboxing like absurd things.
It's very meta. Right, exactly. Or
this here is styrofoam.
Or it's a box that you open up way too quickly. You're like, I'm gonna unbox and I'm done. Oh boy, look at that. It's a fucking calculator. Woo! All right. What now? What? We have 3 hours left.
Right.
My mother won't be home soon. Well, I think I'm gay. Just get right. Just completely stop the unboxing video and get way too personal.
Yeah.
I was molested for years. God, I'm supposed to. This guy's supposed to be unboxing a PlayStation 3, and why is it only a PlayStation 3?
Yeah.
These
are all great ideas.
Yeah, these are great ideas. I'm a real
almost as good as our friend that with the YouTube channel. Remember a few weeks back, the guy that makes the frozen pierogies?
Oh my God, that guy!
That guy was like a fucking onion.
Yeah,
and every layer you peel back, it just got better and better.
You loved him. He is friends with my the girl that cuts my hair, and Kate and Kelly. That's right, and they're getting married next month, and down in Key West. And he's going. Yeah, that guy was.
I forget his name, but he was great.
Yeah, he was great. We did enjoy him, but works. It was like, I remember we'd ask him a question, and he would just bank a hard left. Like, you ever date a stripper? No, but I dated a Vegas showgirl
that I met on MySpace.
What? By the way, anytime you say you met somebody on MySpace, immediately that means you met them at least 15 years ago.
Oh yeah.
That's. I mean, I don't know. So. Anyway, he was great. His idea for a YouTube show was a cooking show Remember, he was like, you know, I make pierogies, and I was like, oh, you make pierogies? That's kind of interesting. And
Right.
he's like, I don't make. He was like, I was an asshole. He was like, I don't make them. They're frozen. I heat them
like
up.
the ones from Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, which by the way, that actually has entertainment value because you actually think that would be funny.
Yeah.
Or you wouldn't. If somebody was doing that as a parody, like here's my cooking show, and I'm going to show you how to make Ritz crackers. That really wouldn't be funny. But to have a guy seriously be like, okay, you got to cut the bag open, get a frying pan hot.
Yeah.
You're going to slide the pierogies into the frying pan, give them a little stir. You know, you don't want them sticking. And after about 8 minutes, turn them and serve.
I think the thing, he wasn't great at sort of explaining, because then when we pressed him on it more, I was like, wait, is it like kind of a thing where you go into your cupboard and you have to come up with something just based on, and he was like, yeah, but he framed it as it's a cooking show, which we thought, you know, he's gonna get out a mortar and a pestle, and
and then he got kind of annoyed with us, like he's like, yeah, you faggot, they're frozen. Like, all right, Jesus, I'm just trying to.
It was great.
He was a lot of fun. So that was a show a few weeks ago, and you can enjoy that one if you like. But so I watched You People on Netflix. That's the Jonah Hill rom-com. Sure. Which is basically, there's a movie called Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, made in the late 60s with Sidney Poitier and a white woman. And who the fuck cares? There's some other actors that are all dead now. But and the whole premise is she brings him a black guy. And of course, you know, Spencer Tracy was the dad. I can't believe I remember that. But so Jonah Hill is like this guy that can't find love. But it's very, I mean, it's, you know, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it's pretty much. I'll tell you though, Julia Louis-Dreyfus has looked exactly the same for 30 years.
Yeah.
Very attractive. I mean, very cute, very cute. And I will tell you something funny. So I lived in LA for 4 years, and when I lived in Los Angeles, that TV show Entourage was always on, and Entourage was shot a lot of it was shot like in Beverly Hills. Like there's a place called the Ivy, which is like a restaurant. You would just like, I don't know, like there's a place, it has a store. Fuck, it doesn't matter. But there's like, but every time you'd watch an episode of Entourage, like the characters, Turtle, Johnny Drama was another one. Vince, of course, who already saw a Skittles ad and knew he was going to be a star. Well, I know way too much about fucking Entourage, but
it was a good show. It was like a great guilty pleasure.
It was great until
Aquaman.
Yeah. Okay. Aquaman is when the whole thing fell
apart.
Queens
Boulevard. I am Queens Boulevard.
I am that. Well, that was the movie that kind of broke him. I know. Right?
Was it?
Yeah. Oh. That was the whole movie opened up with him being in Queens Boulevard, and that was like him being a big star. But then towards the end of it, when it was like Vince went to rehab, and then there was an episode where like Turtle was dating Meadow Soprano, and Meadow gave him a Porsche for his birthday, but Vinny gave him a Ferrari. Which one do I keep? Like that was the actual episode, and and I saw that fucking guy that played
Kevin Connolly.
Kevin Connolly. I saw him at a place called Dan Tana's on Santa Monica Boulevard in Los Angeles, and I swear to God, he's 5'1".
He's like one of those big-headed lollipop. People,
not even
right, where he lost like so much weight that he's just a head on.
I don't know if he was ever fat, but he was short as shit.
Yeah,
I know he played the bad guy in Rocky, not the bad guy, but he played like the bully in Rocky 5. That's all I know. I don't even know why I know that, but he played the one that beat up Rocky's son. And he had like red hair, and then Rocky's son beat him up, and you got to stand up for yourself. Not how hard you get hit is how easy you get up. You know. When you get hit, you got to get up. Come on.
You do. You got to
don't be a faggot.
That'd be crazy if he said that.
Yeah.
No. Like, whoa.
This kid's going to be an Entourage. Wow. Yeah. Rocky can tell the future.
Yeah. That actually, the bar, remember when he bought the bar in Queens? That bar is right. It's like a block away from my house.
Yeah.
I see it when I go to the train.
So when they shot Entourage, I would see these streets that I knew because I'd been on them or whatever. And but in the show, the streets would be teeming with people. Like there would be hot girls and crossing the street, and they'd all be yelling to each other. And it was like, it made Los Angeles look like a sexy Mayberry.
Bustling.
Let me tell you something. I've
Sexy,
never,
bustling Mayberry.
I have never been in Los Angeles where there's been more than 4 people on the street. People just don't
Right.
walk down the fucking street. Even in like Rodeo
I
Drive.
was just gonna say like Rodeo and
Yeah.
well, I mean Hollywood Boulevard where it's like
Well, Hollywood-
tourists. You know?
Yeah, but that's by like Man's Chinese
Yeah,
Theater or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, that's where you're going to see like a heroin addicted Spider-Man.
Sure.
Take a picture. You want to buy a PlayStation 1?
Oh,
Yeah. So my point is like I'm watching. So they do the same thing in that You People movie. Like it would be Jonah Hill like crossing the street with his girlfriend or whatever, and there would just be people everywhere, and everyone's like, you'd hear music, and there's just it just was
street fair going
highly stylized,
Yes,
right? And Jonah Hill's always worried about it. It's this sneaker game. He went to this synagogue wearing his fucking fancy shoes on, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus got angry at him. Can't you wear nice shoes? You got to wear your sneakers.
Ma, these are limited edition.
Yeah. And he's like, Mom, I'm Jonah Hill already.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Right.
And then, but David Duchovny plays his dad, who's like, anyway, whatever. I do not recommend watching it. I watched it. I kind of rode the remote through a lot of it. Because
it's on the television.
Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
It's like right on the front page of Netflix. You can check it out.
Wow, I thought this was like you had to go to a theater.
No. And then and then also what's his name? Eddie Murphy, the comic Mike Epps,
sure,
is in it, and that's funny because he's basically the whole. I don't know why we're talking so much about this stupid movie, but in it, Eddie Murphy plays like a kind of Black Power, like Muslim guy, but he's
like one of
those guys. Like kind of a 1%er,
Sure.
Farrakhan bean pie kind of guy, and then they have a they have a big rehearsal dinner, but then you realize that Eddie Murphy's family, they're all like kind of like, I don't know, like honky tonk black people.
Okay.
Like Mike Epps is like, no, let me get a Hennessy and
Sure.
fruit punch or whatever. So you see that, and of course, like Eddie Murphy, his name is like Abdul, and then
Sure.
Mike Epps is like, motherfucker, your name's like, whatever, like choo choo train or whatever the fuck.
Right.
Hey, listen, I'm paraphrasing obviously, but it's I don't think the movie's really worth a look, but it always makes me funny whenever I watch these LA movies because they always like when they shoot, it's like, wow, there's so much going on in LA and there's people going left and right, but there's nobody's ever on the fucking street.
Yeah.
Like you walk like Melrose Avenue. Have you ever heard about Melrose Avenue? You look at Melrose Avenue, there's never anybody on the street. People go in stores and they get in their car and that's it. They don't nobody walks around, I guess.
Right.
I had a conversation with somebody recently and they were like, "Do you ever take the subway in Los Angeles?" I'm like, "No, the subway."
They do have kind of a light rail system.
They have a subway. They do.
And does it actually go underground?
That's a sub
when it gets into the city.
Yeah, they have. It's the most expensive subway in the world because LA is always shaking.
Sure. Yeah.
But it only goes. I believe it only. I actually knew somebody who lived in North Hollywood, which is
NoHo,
no homo,
the NoHo Arts District.
Oh boy, look at you! Yeah, exactly. And he would tell me that it was actually the subway was great because he worked like downtown, so it was. If you lived on it, it was convenient. But you can't just get on the fucking thing.
It's just one. It's just kind of one line, right?
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna fire up an
LA
subway map,
because they have the transit thing on.
But I took the actual train from LA to San Diego because Kurt Metzger was doing a panel for Ugly Americans, which was that TV the cartoon he was on.
I remember that.
Yeah, and that fucking train took like 6 or 8 hours. It stopped everywhere. It stopped like I don't know. It was like a local train because LA to San Diego is about, I don't know, 80 miles, 90 miles. But I don't know. For some reason, I feel like every 8 minutes, the fucking thing stopped. And like,
yeah,
it was like a local train. And I didn't really pay attention. I just got on the train and I was like, oh, wow, I'm going to be on this for 8 hours. So I think I just got drunk. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's a hike. I'm looking.
Yeah,
at it. Is that an Amtrak that goes?
Yeah, it was like an Amtrak. Yeah,
it looks like their subway is kind of. I mean, it covers some ground, but just because LA is so spread out, that doesn't really. It's like it's the same amount of lines, but like that we have in Manhattan, but it's like 100 miles rather, or however, rather than like,
dude. If you're living in LA and you're Yeah, and you're depending upon public transportation to get around, you are not doing well.
Well, but then what about? Well, yeah. But I'm just wondering in terms of like, if you did have to go a long ways rather than sitting in traffic, would it? Wonder if it would help at all.
Well, I mean,
It really, I think it just you would almost have to be very strategic about where you lived and where
well,
you
yeah,
worked.
I mean, if you had to go from like, I don't know, like if you had to go from say, well, North Hollywood to somewhere in downtown LA, like if you had a
Yeah.
job every day and you had to go down to downtown LA to some fucking office building and you could take the train down there and jump off and then get back on and just go home, then
North Hollywood to Chatsworth,
you could go to Chatsworth. That's right. That's where they make a lot of pornos.
sure.
You could
Yeah.
load up a bag with dildos and AIDS tests
Yeah.
and go out to Chatsworth and then
Uh-huh.
go home back to North Hollywood and make a day of it. I didn't know. I didn't know when out to Chatsworth. Huh? Wow.
Yeah. You can go down to Redondo Beach.
Redondo Beach,
What's the other end? Where's the
and they
other-
do have like an above
The blue
ground.
line goes all the way down to downtown Long Beach.
Wow.
If you're in the LBC,
Well, I mean,
or
there is
if
a
you're a Crip and you want to commute
There-
up for a meeting.
there's a scene in that You People thing where Eddie Murphy takes him to a Crip barber shop and he's wearing a red hoodie sweatshirt.
Right.
And, oh, the shenanigans. Goodbye, baby. My daughter's leaving. I love you, honey. Have
I
fun.
didn't expect that. I got terrified.
I know. Just came home early. It's good. Just going to Party City.
Hey, for good times.
Yep. So anyway, yeah, but so I don't think you can, and then that horrible drug addict Leif Garrett. Remember him? He was in like all those
Sure.
E True Hollywood Stories. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Leif. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
The
Leif,
only thing I knew about the subway is when I lived out there, he got arrested because he was on the subway and jumped like a turnstile. And then he had heroin
Jesus.
on him. Boy, that really is.
No.
If that isn't your rock bottom, I don't know.
Leif Garrett was like he was kind of a heartthrob back in
He was
the
a
day, right?
heartthrob,
Yeah.
but like I watched that E True Hollywood Story. He never actually he didn't write his own music. He did like bubblegum pop for like, but he was
Yeah.
big for like 2 years.
Well, I didn't know he was a musician. I thought he was
Well,
an actor, musician, heartthrob.
Yeah, he was like a I don't think he played guitar or anything,
No.
but he would go on tour with these musicians and they'd be like, hey, let's do some coke to 13-year-old Leif Garrett. And he'd be
Yeah.
like, word. And then of course, we were talking about hair pieces before the show, but he went horribly bald and he was doing that thing where he would wrap a handkerchief around his head. And then he like was
Yeah.
driving and he killed his,
Stevie Van Sant. kinda.
yeah.
Or Gino Visconti too. Does
Is
that.
Gino, I don't know, is Gino bald? Is that what he
I
is?
think he's
Kind of like it's
receding,
going.
maybe?
That's about the
Yeah.
least of his problems. His hair is escaping from his head. Hair's like, I cannot be involved
I'm
with
going
this.
with Aaron.
Yeah, I'm going with Aaron. Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
His hair is, it's like this is a sinking ship, a sinking sip, a sinking ship. Easy for you to say. But yeah, then I think he was like driving and he put his friend in a wheelchair and I don't know. Anyway, so that's all I know.
Sounds
about
like offstage things were falling apart. Did I ever tell you I dated a lady that was like a E True Hollywood producer?
No.
She produced.
How'd that go?
How'd the dating go?
No,
Her career just seemed to be going all right. She produced Mitch Hedberg's one, and that we kind of hit it off based on
When
that. We were just to meet. We met cute at a bar.
like those taglines. His career was exploding, but so
Yeah.
was his love for
Right.
intravenous drugs.
Yes.
Yeah.
And recreational vehicles.
Yes. At night, when the crowd stopped cheering, he was alone with his intravenous drugs. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I liked those. The one that was really the one that I have a personal association with is the one that they made with the kid that was in The Toy.
I don't know.
Remember this one? There was a movie called The Toy with Richard
Toy?
Pryor. You could not make that movie now. It was a movie with Jackie Gleason and Richard Pryor, and Jackie Gleason plays like a rich Southern guy, already alarm bells, and his son sees a black guy like on the street and says to his father, I want you to buy that black man for me.
Oh, Jesus.
And Jackie Gleason's like, I don't mind if I do. Or something like that's not a good Jackie Gleason impression.
Scott Schwartz.
Scott
Was
Schwartz.
Eric Bates was
Yes.
his character.
Yes.
Okay.
He was also in the Christmas Story movie.
Was
He
he?
got his tongue stuck on the pole.
Oh, that was Flick.
Wow, good for you. That's a
Yeah,
big
he licked
Minnesota.
he licked a frozen pole.
Wow.
I didn't even. Was that set in Minnesota?
I think so. Something like that.
Somewhere close, somewhere in the Midwest.
Yeah,
Maybe
Midwest.
Ohio?
I don't know.
Anyways.
It's all the same, really. Come on, who are we kidding?
Yeah.
But anyway, so that guy, Scott Schwartz, so the premise of the toy is like Richard Pryor works for the dad, but then the dad's like, listen, you darky, I'll pay $1,000 a month to fucking let my son. And like, so the son's lonely from military school and he falls in love with Richard Pryor. They have sex. No, I'm just kidding. That'd be great.
Well, I heard Richard Pryor dabbled in the
pedophilia.
In the bisexual.
Didn't Marlon Brando fuck him in the ass?
I think so.
That's like a rumor. And he fucked Barbara Walters.
I know he fucked Paul Mooney.
God. Anyway, so
I bet it was hilarious.
Yeah,
you know how funny that would be.
Yeah, pull it out, man. Don't get me
They're
pregnant.
probably doing bits.
Yeah, exactly.
But because I remember him, somebody took a tour of his house or something. He said like, "Hey, Paul, remember this is a room I fucked you in or something." And
that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. 70s, man.
So anything's possible. Yeah, right.
So this Scott Schwartz guy was in the toy. He was in the other one, and then he didn't do very much more. But then this is all from the True Hollywood Story. He started hanging out with adult film actors, and his parents owned a collectible store. You know, like baseball cards and pictures of celebrities and shit like that, memorabilia. You know, and so I guess somehow the place is in Burbank. Again, I'm paraphrasing with a lot of this, but like there was a store, he got involved with these people. So at some point he was in a porn movie.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like
Scott was.
Yeah, you look, if you're looking up stuff, if you wouldn't mind, please look up. And they build it like the star of the toy and a Christmas Story.
So if I look up Scott Schwartz
porn, I'm sure it pops right up.
Oh, let's see.
And he's in it. And the whole premise is like Hollywood star Scott Schwartz. And because, the porn industry, especially in like, this was the early 90s, I'm guessing, that was a big get for that industry to
start in porn. Yeah. Well, they build it as from the Christmas Story.
Yeah. From the Christmas Story.
That was kind of his bigger.
Yeah. So he's in it and but he's not. Oh, hey, Mia's back. Who are you with? Oh, hi, Chase.
Oh, hey.
Okay, come over here, honey. Grab it over here. What's up, buddy? Just
hold on.
Hold on. Fudge. It's in my jacket, actually, sweetheart. No, back this way. In the closet. Hi, Chase. That's Mr. Adam.
Hello.
Adam, Chase.
How are you?
Hi. Okay, there she goes. Hey, listen. It's in the closet in the green jacket. Grab the American Express, okay? All right, folks. Sorry. You're getting a real slice of life here, folks. That's what it is.
Right?
So anyway, so that's Scott Schwartz. So he was in, he did that content, and everyone was excited on set to have him be involved. And of course, it ruined his chance. So the True Hollywood Story about him is really depressing because
the movie was actually it was really like it was called Scotty's X-Rated Adventure.
Yes.
So it was really like it wasn't even. I mean, it was sort of a.
Cinema
production was like
cinema verite.
Yeah, built kind of around the fact that
Well, it was they broke the fourth wall conceptually. Yes. So and it was shot like 92 or 93.
Yeah. They should have called it Scotty Licks a Pole or something.
Yeah,
or another pole.
Yeah. See what it isn't. Is the wallet there? In the green jacket, the big heavy green jacket.
If you have to go, I can
look in the pockets in the green jacket. Okay, then check over there, baby. I'm sorry. All right, everybody, my daughter needs a wallet. So we're just doing that in addition to doing this. Luckily, this is this free show. Do you see the wallet? All right, if I actually find it in my green jacket, that's it. I'm talking about the big heavy one, the big heavy green jacket. No, that's not green.
Yeah, that is green.
Sweetie pie, the one the tweed jacket.
Okay, so the one that's like green with like the black.
Yes, yes, Daddy's hunting coat.
Oh, Daddy's hunting professor jacket.
All right,
in there.
Everyone,
you go handle it. I'll talk to
I'll
say hi to the folks.
Okay.
Hi, Ted. Hi, Jimmy. Hi, James. How's everybody doing? Happy? It's February. It's very cold here in New York City. Let's check in with traffic and weather. It is 21 degrees, 20-mile-per-hour wind, southeast. Feels like 6. Yikes! We're still looking for. Have we found the jacket?
She was right. It was not in the pocket.
Wasn't in the pocket, but we did find the jacket. I'm gonna kind of narrate like I'm live on the scene. Coming to you live from the McCarthys. We cannot find the wallet. Breaking news.
Ted, we need your weird English credit card. Hold on.
What do they call it in what do they call credit cards in merry old England? Oh, you found it. All right, everybody. We found the wallet.
When you come back, take dogs out, please.
Brian's daughter has been given the credit card, and she is now on her way to Party City.
Bye, honey.
And they're buying what? They're buying supplies from Party City for a party.
Yeah,
A surprise party, I hear.
Is it a surprise party?
I thought that's what she said.
Wow, that's
Have you ever been to a surprise party?
Yeah.
Or have you ever had a surprise party thrown for you?
I'd be surprised if anybody threw me a party. Like, oh, look at everybody here. It's this kid that goes to boarding school and he's back and it's his birthday. And I believe they're getting stuff for tomorrow night at his party. And tomorrow night I'm having dinner with Joe DeRosa. Thank you very much.
Taste Buds own
couple of legends of celebrity legends.
Sure,
we'll be at Couture's on 80
booth at Tao.
Yeah, we're gonna be at Chasen's at the Brown Derby. We'll be at Couture's on 82nd and 1st Avenue.
I don't think I know Couture's. What kind of cuisine
is that? Well, as you know, Couture's is French for the word 14.
Oh, wow. You don't have to tell me. But I'm just saying for the audience.
Yeah, of course. They it's a really delightful French restaurant. And Joe DeRosa has never had cassoulet. Do you know what cassoulet is?
I have no idea.
Oh, country mouse.
Yeah.
Cassoulet is a
maybe I have and I didn't know what it's called.
Oh, honey, if you've had cassoulet, you would know you had cassoulet, you silly, you dumb motherfucker. Okay. Cassoulet it sounds queer, but it is a hearty Alsatian stew made with white beans, smoked veal, and all sorts of sausages. It's like a hunter stew.
Ooh, and a medley of sausages.
And a soup con of foie gras.
Oh, yes. Foie gras, really?
There's a big chunk of.
You can taste the cruelty.
There's the tears in every bite. It's marinated in its own suffering, and there's always a duck confit leg in the top of it. It's like a white bean thing with a shitload of. And it comes in a little.
Sounds rich.
It is. It comes in a little pot, and then it's like a hunter's stew. You have it in the winter. And tomorrow night it's going to be cold as balls here in the big city. So we'll go up there because my wife has something to do. No one's going to be home, so Joe's going to come up here.
Fun.
And we'll have a dinner. And so if you're in the neighborhood, come. We have a 6:30 at Couture's, and just come on by.
Just actually stop.
I'm like Gino Bisconti, but in a very different income bracket.
Yes.
Right. Come on by. Here's my phone number. The manager's name is Alex. He's a very sweet guy. So that's what we're gonna do tomorrow night. So that's the big plan. But I want to wrap it up with this fucking Scott Shorts motherfucker. But so the E True Hollywood Story is so sad because he's in this porno. Nothing obviously like that was the death knell of his career, which frankly was not doing anything anyway.
Yeah, he probably didn't have a lot going on.
No.
And that's why he took that call.
So I watched he's like, I'm going to get laid at least. And they'll probably give me lunch.
Right.
And
So
anyway,
they'll cater.
Yeah. And so when the E True Hollywood Story thing came out, I was doing the women's wrestling and I happened to be doing some press. That's what we call the industry press for a radio station in Philadelphia. And it was like some morning show,
was it the Wing Bowl?
Like
that's big.
The Wing Bowl. I knew the guys that put the Wing
nationally famous.
It's done now.
It's the only thing I know about Philly radio.
No more Wing Bowl.
No more Wing Bowl.
Wing Bowl was fucking Me Too, buddy.
Really? What goes on at the Wing Bowl that it can be Me Too?
I had been invited to the Wing Bowl a million times, but I never went.
Wing Invitational.
okay, so let's do Scott, and then we'll do Wing Bowl.
Sure.
And if you're watching, Google Wing Bowl, because you're not going to believe what the fuck that shit was.
It's funny because I've heard that thrown around, and I don't think I even know what it is.
Okay, so I'm waiting for an elevator, and I'm with like a bunch of these wet wrestling girls, and we are gonna go do like, I don't know, like, you know, Tommy and the Morning Maniacs or whatever fucking dipshit show we're gonna do, and we're in the elevator, and some guy goes, hold the elevator, and I hold it, and here comes Scott Schwartz. He's doing the radio show also, but he's doing it like after us. Like he's also on the radio show. So because I think he was in Philadelphia because he was doing one of those like autograph signing things, you know, like where you go and there's Elvira's there.
Yeah, sure. You got your little table.
Yeah, you got a little table, you sign things.
Glossy 8x10.
That fucking pork. Imagine every guy's like, so you were also in porno, right? He's like, oh my God. Because in the East True Hollywood Story, they're interviewing him and he's like, you know, I wrote a script for Toy 2, which is really good. So if anybody's watching, you're like, dude, Richard Pryor's dead, Jackie Gleason's dead. You fucking came on somebody's face in a movie. Nobody's looking for your. And he was like a fat little balding guy with like a fanny pack, and he just got in the elevator. And you know, like when someone, like when you know something about somebody and they know that, you know, like he got in the elevator and you knew that we were all just kind of like, I mean, I think these girls were pretty oblivious, but I was like, oh, hey, I know. Yeah, Scott, right? And he was like, yeah, you know, he was like, so yeah, it's me. I know.
Well, because he's like low enough on the sort of the call sheet that you wouldn't necessarily know him even from the Christmas Story. If you go, hey, it was the guy that licked the frozen pole, I go, oh, okay.
Well, I've seen A Christmas Story fucking 50 times.
Same.
And he looks just like he used to look. Like, so, and this was already fucking 15, 16 years ago. So, you know, he was probably at the time 40, maybe 37. I don't know. And so he looked very similar. So if he would have gotten in the elevator, even if I didn't had, that's great, Brian. Even if I hadn't seen the True Hollywood Story, then I would know that I would be like, aren't you from fucking Christmas Story? You know what I mean? Like you would know because you look at his face and you could know him. So, but he got on and he was that was this morning show we did where the guys were like, hey, let's do some wet wrestling in the studio. So
sure.
I just brought like 3 big things of Wesson oil. And I just put them all over the floor of their fucking like studio. And
wow, you guys didn't even lay anything down?
Well, it's a good question. Once we did it, there was concern that there were some sharp edges. So they sent an intern to go around the floor and get like pieces of cardboard from like boxes and just kind of tape it on the angles. But like we left that studio and there was puddles of oil like all over.
And that stuff will take you weeks.
I don't know who had to clean it up. We were just like, thanks, come to the fucking New Alhambra Arena this Saturday night.
Wow.
8 o'clock, bye. And we just left. And I'm surprised that they didn't, I mean, the FCC, because this was obviously a while ago, but they did shoot it, but it wasn't like streaming or anything. But like 2 of the girls, like tits came out, and one of them like hit her head really hard on the floor. Like it was like really fucking chaos. And I had been up drinking all night the night before. So it was like, I know, I felt like, who's that bald guy that died that used to run the bunny ranch? Dennis Hoff.
Oh, Dennis Hoff.
Yeah, I felt like Dennis Hoff. I was like, all right, we're in the elevator. I'm like, all right, girls.
A couple of gold chains. Girls.
Yeah, we got to.
I brought some of my girls.
This is big. Yeah. They'll wrestle in anything. That, you know, a lot of these girls don't have what I would call good childhood.
Right. But you just can't stop talking about how empowering it is for them. And how much it was their idea.
They're rediscovering their femality. Femality? Yeah, feminality. Yeah. There's like blood coursing out of my nose. Yeah. So anyway, so that was that Scott.
Oh,
but
Lord.
yeah, I know. So it was really that was the Scott so that was the guy, but I don't know, you know, but I don't know what is he up to now? Can you look? Do you mind?
I mean, yeah, we can. I'm assuming not much of anything.
Oh, well, don't be cunty.
No, listen, too late.
Yeah,
you're like late for that.
It'd be funny. He's like starring in like Othello at the Old Vic in England.
Let's check out his IMDb and we'll see if he has anything within.
Was he in a movie where the girls licked my willy? Hello, they nibbled on me pecker. They did. Made all the custard come out nice and hot, popping hot.
Just
And
for you, Ted.
that's right. Coles to Newcastle it was.
Oh, it did.
Oh, it did.
Let's see. Oh, 2022, 2020.
Was he in? I can't.
A Christmas Story Christmas. So he did
no.
star in the kind of
Yeah, the
made for television.
I don't think it's
thingy.
he made, yeah, because they made a sequel to A Christmas Story.
Yeah, but it was like an updated thing in it. It's 2022. He's
Is he working?
turns out he's working. Yeah, 2022, 20 movies. I mean, silly like things. A wrestling Christmas Miracle.
Okay.
He played Ronald. But I mean, he's working.
Okay. A wrestling Christmas miracle.
2017. Yeah, come on, man. Yeah.
All right.
You know it. The Comeback Kid to 2014.
How are they spelling comeback?
Standard, not
Okay.
CUM, not
All
CUM.
right.
That would be great. Community College, he played
Okay.
a bar owner,
Okay.
which that's never
All right.
good when you're
No,
billed as
when
the.
you're- yeah.
the-
Okay. Whatever. Listen.
So he's working, but
wish-
he's,
and
he's
in
getting paid.
the porn that he was in, do you mind looking to see what actresses he worked with?
Let me see. I mean,
I mean,
I don't know.
they're. I mean, this is a while ago, but they're.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure those girls
I
were
don't
all
know if
doing.
I don't know if it specifically said. That might be okay. Well, there's a girl on the front
Uh-huh.
of it.
Uh-huh.
It was a wicked picture. It was wicked.
See, it was like a legitimate. It was a big. It's what we call.
Julie. It looks like Julie Ashton.
No,
is
I
the-
don't,
is
okay,
the-
I don't know. Her.
I don't know.
I don't know. Either.
She. I mean, if she's on a cover of a Wicked,
Yeah,
she's
sure.
had to be somebody.
And
Yeah.
yeah. Well, anyway,
Good for him.
good for you.
So he came back. He came back from it.
I mean, listen, I don't know if coming back is. I don't think, and I still think he's involved in like the collectible industry. I think that there's.
Mm.
I don't know. Listen, no one's talked more about this guy in the last fucking 10 years
Right.
than you and I
We'll
right
have to
now.
Tag him.
I know.
Oh boy, look at that! Wow.
What's up?
Oh, just a current photo of him.
How's he look?
It's just like the kid from the Christmas Story.
See, I'm
but
saying he looks like-
much puffier.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though, is like I watch the Christmas Story every year.
So did I.
I would not have picked him out. I don't think if I was in an elevator with this guy.
Well,
I would
again,
know.
this was 15 years ago.
Okay, maybe.
And the True Hollywood Story had like just come out. I had just seen it.
Mhm.
So it was like really, it was like when you meet somebody and you like, and you know that they had killed somebody
So-
in a drunk driving accident.
yeah. Okay, so
So
that
like,
would help the
it
association.
was all very kind of fresh.
yeah.
And so that's what that was. But he I don't know. I think now though, I still think like if you're like, okay, like Screech, rest in
Yeah.
power, King. Remember he made a fake like
Yeah.
porn.
Leaked,
Yeah.
right?
But no pun intended.
Pre-cum.
Yeah, but he made a like Screech fucks these girls or whatever. And dude, I told you I worked with that guy for like a minute, and God, I remember the only thing he said, the first thing he said to me when I met him, I said, hey, what do you call him? I said, hey, Dustin. I don't know, Screech.
Sure.
I said, hey, Dustin, I'm
Mr.
Brian.
Diamond.
I said, I'm the guy from the Lampoon, National Lampoon. He goes, oh yeah, you are? Okay. I need Percocet. That's exactly what he said
That's
to me.
about how I would imagine it
Yeah.
going.
And I made a phone call. I said, Mr. Diamond, whatever you need.
Sure.
And then he had a girlfriend who was maybe like on, you know how you do this rating 1 to 10s or whatever. She was
Sure.
maybe a 4.
Hmm.
That was fucking crazy. The production company rented an apartment for him, and then the apartment was like illegally rented to them. So he showed up, and there was another couple in the apartment, and they called me, and I had to go like down there, and he was sitting there with the girlfriend in this like shitty studio apartment on the Lower East Side, and I was like, all right, you guys get all your stuff and get out of here, and I'm gonna wait here in this apartment and have the locks changed. I was fucking crazy.
What was Dustin Diamond
Okay, so-
going there to do? What was the job?
Okay, so there was a musical, an off Broadway musical called Bayside the Musical
Okay.
that was about Saved by the Bell, and so it was produced by Tobley McSmith and some other guy, and they were doing it at the St. Mark's Theater downtown, and somehow the National Lampoon, who at the time I had an association with, I mean, barely worked for them, but I sort of worked for them. They called me and they were like, everyone else is in LA, and they were like, hey, we're going to give you a budget, and we want you to we're producing this now. So you're going to be like the de facto producer, boots on the ground for this show. So what they did is, in a bit of stunt casting, they initially hired the guy that played the principal on the show.
Mr. Belding.
There you go. Thank you.
I don't remember the actor's
name,
but yeah.
Who apparently was like a total fucking, like, he was 60 at the time or whatever, total cokehead, and tried to fuck every girl within like
I
three.
Heard that.
Yeah, he was total maniac.
Yeah,
but apparently he was a lot of fun. Everyone was like, "Oh, like he was maniac."
I mean, he sounds like
a lot of fun
party.
And then they hired him for like a run of a month because it was like featuring the guy, Mr. And they wrote.
So would they just have like? Would they only get one cast member sort of per?
Well, and they would get the ones that
like they wouldn't all come together.
No,
they couldn't get Belding and Screech together,
no,
right?
That's a lot of budget. Come on, who's got who has $800? A lot of money.
And a 2-bedroom.
Well, so they got this Belding guy, and they brought him in for like a month. So what they would do is the show could run without having these people in the show. So not every time you would go see the show, you would see a Belding or a Screech, but they would bring them in as a way to kind of kick up ticket sales and to get some interest in the show.
Okay.
And when they would bring in a Belding, the creators of the show, who were very talented, the show was actually really funny. They would write like a song for Belding to perform, and it was all breaking the fourth wall. So Belding would come in and go like, "I'm Mr. Belding. I'm the principal of here, who has cocaine and wants to take some Valtrex so I don't give you herpes," or whatever, and he would sing a song, and then he would be in the show. So if you were a fan of Saved by the Bell on a Friday night, you could go, "Oh, I actually saw the guy that played Mr. Belding." So in another bit of stunt casting, they hired Dustin Diamond to be in the show, who was an enormous pain in the ass. And part of his deal was, I think they were paying him like $1,500 a week for an 8-week run, which is a little theater. It's like a lot of money. Like they weren't. I mean,
black box kind of situation, or more bigger than that.
Yeah, it was, do you know the theater I'm talking about? It's It's across from Jules Bistro on St. Mark's, right off of First Avenue.
Okay,
and
I know. Oh wait. No, I'm thinking of on 2nd Avenue, the place where they did like Stomp or whatever. That's like a big place.
Yeah. That's an equity house, as we call it in the business.
Of course, it's
an equity,
as we call it.
Yeah, it's a local 42 hangs the curtains there for the boys at 42. But this theater, the St. Mark's Theater, it used to be a speakeasy, and actually even to this day, they actually have a really cool gangster museum in the same area where you can go and you can see, like, I don't know, Al Capone's fucking hat or something. They have all this weird gangster shit. And the only reason I know that is because a friend of mine was in town and he was like, "I went to the gangster museum at the St. Mark's Theater." And I was like, "Oh, I fucking did a stupid thing with Screech there." But anyway, and this wasn't even that long ago. This was like 7 years ago. And so they hired Screech to show up, and he was same kind of thing. So he would come in, but because he had more of a, let's call it a residency. So he was more like, he was there for, 2 months. So part of his deal was they got him an apartment, and they went on Craigslist and they found some sort of like sublet on Craigslist, some sort of a, studio apartment in the Lower East Side. And I the first day that I went and met him, he was already a problem at rehearsal. Like the first day that fucking guy got here, because in addition to being in the show, he was also like doing like comedy spots, but he couldn't get like he couldn't get on at the Cellar. Like he couldn't, like he's not funny. You know what I mean? I don't know, whatever.
I think I knew somebody that maybe wrote for him or something. Like he had writers and stuff. And he would kind of get booked probably like in the Midwest at the
like
Chuckle Huts and
stunt
things like
booking or something, or part of like a bigger show with maybe he and Scotty could do some kind of whatever. And they could do The Odd Couple. So I mean, I remember like, and he was a huge alcoholic, Dustin Diamond. Because the place was, because the first day I got there, they were like, "This is Dustin Diamond," and that's when he wanted the Percocet. And then this Tobley person was like, took me to the side, and she was like, "Oh yeah, this is a terrible mistake. Like he's a fucking nightmare."
Fuck.
Like,
yeah, I wonder. Like, I would love to see the ledger on that and what it cost.
Oh yeah.
Versus like ticket sales,
it's
spike or whatever.
It's what we would call a loss leader.
Yeah, I feel like they took a fucking bath.
I remember looking
on
over
the Screech thing,
and he's sitting over with the cast, because the cast are all the kids that played like the actual. There's an actor playing Zach, an actor playing whatever,
right?
And they're all much younger because they were age appropriate. And here's Screech, who's like 45, and he's like, "Can I smoke in here?
Yeah.
Can I smoke in here?"
That actually sounds like a hilarious scenario, because he's known as being, he had a lot of weird scandals and a lot of like got in fights in public, and he's very much like a troubled, I guess you could say child star.
He was a loose cannon.
Yeah, he's one of those fucking weird.
So he's on the show, and then we had and then every time that they bring in like a new stunt, to my knowledge, they only did this twice,
right?
And because Screech kind of fucking, I think after Screech, everyone was like, "We can't do this ever again." I mean, imagine what Tony Danza will do. He'll burn the place down. But so they brought in Screech, and then they had rehearsals. But like the greatest thing was, I watched an episode, or a performance rather, of Screech in the show, and he didn't know his lines, and he would just wander onto stage, and he would just start doing like weird bits to the audience. Like, "I know you're all here just to see me. Like, look at the monkey dance," and he would just dance a little bit and like walk off of stage into awkward laughter, and he'd be like, "Yeah, killed it." And so and because I think he was resentful of everything.
Oh yeah, no, I think typically in those situations, people, once you play a character, unless it's like an Elaine Bennis, or right, where you're just a very talented person and you play a iconic character, but in a situation like that where you can't get out of the shadow of Screech, I think they're 100% of the time
also
resentful.
I mean, I think there's two schools of thought with that too, because I've always said, like, if you find a good character on a show, you might as well just do it until you fucking drop dead, because you may never get another role like that again. Like the guy Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead, like that guy's been in The Walking Dead for 12 years now, and now he's going to be in another Walking Dead show, and there's going to be a Walking Dead spinoff, but he's making a fortune being the sexy bow and arrow guy from The Walking Dead. So that's what he's. But like, know your lane. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and then you got to take the person's personality and potential substance abuse problems. But when you're a disaster to begin with,
but Screech was he was like, he was in a shitty, corny show, and then he was in then he came back as like, Saved by the Bell, The Next Generation, and Saved by the Bell Goes to Space, or Saved by the Bell is in 9/11 or whatever, he just would do anything.
Saved by the Bell was an inside job.
Yeah, right.
That was a good one.
Yeah, Saved by the Bell, Poland, 1943. Right. Well, I don't want to go into. I don't need a shower. Why? I don't get tattoos on my arm.
But yeah, you can 100%. You can make a fucking career out of the one note situation, but it depends on the individual.
Yeah, and it also, I don't know, to sort of hang your hat on the character is great. And apparently, like, if I did watch the E! True Hollywood Story, like even at the height of that show, those kids were making like fucking $2,000 an episode. They weren't making any money.
Big money.
No. So anyway, so Screech is in this show. He's a fucking disaster. I think he was in like 3 or 4 episodes. And then I get a call from the director, this Tobley person, who is trans. So Tobley's a guy now. Look up a picture of
Tobley's M to F. Wait, no, F to M.
F to M. Look up Tobley, Tobly. Second word is McSmith, please.
Tobley that sounds like a wow. When I put in Tobley, McSmith came up.
See, I don't fucking
as
lie.
The first.
Well, how many Tobleys can there be?
Author?
Sure.
Co-creator, writer of 7 somewhat successful musical. Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
musical parodies. Yeah,
musical parodies.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
So that's who Tobley is. So this Tobley character calls me kind of frantically, man to man, and says, hey,
At the time, was he a man?
at the time,
Or
he
had he not
was
transitioned yet?
I thought he was just a little lesbian,
Gotcha.
but he
Yeah,
was
he's probably just in the okay.
I don't
Gotcha.
know. He was in the middle of hormones. He announced to me that he was trans.
Gotcha.
And I went, yuck. No, I'm just kidding. I said, okay, that's cool.
Sure.
So anyway, so this Tobley calls me and is like, we have a huge problem because the National Lampoon was paying bills. And by the way, we were like late on bills, and these people that own the Lampoon were terrible people. Like no one should. They ended up fucking me over for like $600, which was my own fault. But anyway, so they call me. This Tobley McSmith person calls me, and he
That would be
sorry.
a great fake name, Tobley McSmith. It sounded like he
It
made
is a
up.
fake name. Can't be a real. I cannot imagine that has to be like your
You don't think
trans
that's
name.
their real name? Oh yeah.
No, it's like
Oh.
your name is like.
I mean, just even the McSmith sounds.
Yeah, it all sounds.
It sounds like I said like what was it, and you improv'd it.
Yeah, no.
is
It
what I'm
sounds like
saying.
you took scrap.
Tobley McSmith.
It sounds like you took Scrapple letters and threw them on the floor,
Yes.
and you're like, Tobley
McSmith.
Tobley McSmith.
Yeah.
It's either, and this is my girlfriend, the Incredible Hulk.
Right.
Okay,
I'm the best safe cracker in the business.
Yeah.
Like Tobley.
somebody
McSmith.
get me Tobley McSmith.
Yes. Oh, Tobley retired years ago. We can't get Tobley McSmith.
I will tell you, and Tobley, for some reason you do hear this. You had a reputation. I happened to be in a lesbian bar in the East Village around the same time as we were doing the show. And I went in and I struck up a conversation with the bartender, and I was like, yeah, I'm doing this thing. I'm with the Lampoon, and we're doing the thing, Saved by the Bell parody musical. And she goes, oh yeah, it's Tobley's thing, right?
Oh yeah.
And I go, yeah. And you go, oh yeah, Tobley's like kind of like, yeah, Tobley's fucked everybody in here.
Nice.
Right? Tobley really was like a real man.
Bit of a stud. Yeah.
Bit of a stud. So
Oh, yeah.
I get a call from Tobley. Tobley's like, we have a real problem. You know that apartment that you guys got for Screech? And I was like, we did? I don't know. Like,
Hold on. Let me think. Oh, okay.
yes,
Yeah.
hold on. Let me refer to my notes.
I recall.
Yeah, I'm just looking at a CD case covered in cocaine.
Right.
Yes, I see. This is right.
Counting crows.
Yes, right, exactly. It's Toe the Wet Sprocket, Party 1. So I go, yeah. What about it? Because I did know that they were having a hard time finding an apartment for him because it was reasonable. So she goes, well, apparently he and the girlfriend, and this, by the way, would be terrifying. They went back to the room after the performance that night, used the key, opened the door to the apartment, and they go in, and there's some guy asleep in the bed in this studio apartment.
Wow.
Like, oh, right?
But after you had changed the lock.
Well, no. This is before all of this.
Oh, okay.
So apparently, Screech open. Imagine you're dead asleep, and you wake up and you look up, and there's Screech in the apartment.
Yes.
Like, you're in my apartment. I'm like, what is Screech? Like, and with Screech's girlfriend, who was like in her mid-20s, who, by the way, was from Long Island. And I remember, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to disparage the girl, and maybe she's very nice, but you know those girls that have like she had these big fat bat wing arms.
Okay. Yeah.
Like big loose skin bat wing. It's the first thing I remember when I met her. And she wore like sleeveless shirts. I remember thinking to myself, you should not wear, you should put on extra sleeves.
Stay away from the camisole.
Like, I don't have a great body by any stretch, but you play to your strengths. So anyway, and she was like, we're getting married. Like, I'm going to be Mrs. Screech.
Mrs. Diamond.
Mrs. Diamond. We are the Diamonds, party of 2, Olive Garden. Yes. Something by the window. My husband is Dustin Diamond. That's right. Yes. We're having dinner with.
He's from Wisconsin. I know that. So I don't know if he was living in Wisconsin.
We're also having dinner with Scott Schwartz. Separate checks. Thank you very much. Anyway, so yeah, he's from Wisconsin apparently. So they call me and they're like, apparently the guy wakes up, he's in bed. Screech is like, this is our, apartment. He calls Tobley and is like flipping out on her, like, what the fuck? Do you know who I am? You got me this apartment and blah, blah, blah. And this guy's been a headache for like 4 days since he's gotten here. So she goes, listen, the guy that was sleeping got up and left because I guess, I don't know, he must have run out there naked or something. She goes, you got to go down can you please go down to the apartment and deal with this? So I call the guys that own the Lampoon in LA and I was like, I don't know what's going on, but apparently the hotel or the room that you guys rented or the sublet you rented, has been like doubly
Yeah,
subletted.
we're double booked.
Yeah, they're double dipping on the property. So I'm gonna go down there. So I go down there, and Screech is sitting there on the end of the bed, and it's like, I mean, this apartment was a fucking.
Is the guy still there? Or
No, he
left. The guy left.
But this is one of those old. This is one of those old tenement apartments in New York that has the bathtub in the kitchen.
Yeah, yeah.
So I go in, and there's Screeches on the bed with the Batwing girl, and they're sitting there, and I was like, "Hey, Dustin," I'm like, and he was like giving me attitude. I'm like, "Hey, Dustin, I had nothing to do with this. I'm here to try to fix this."
I'm the fixer.
Yeah, exactly. What's that movie? What's that series with the guy from oh God, Brian?
I don't know.
No, hold on. We can do this.
Okay,
It's on Showtime.
Okay,
It's on
Showtime.
The dad is Angelina Jolie's dad.
John
Don't look it
Voight.
up yet. Don't look it
Her
up.
real dad,
Yes,
John
Voight.
Voight. Okay.
Liev Schreiber.
Okay.
Liev Schreiber plays like a fixer. It's like Billy
Sure.
anybody. If anybody's, can you look? Maybe somebody can tell us, but I guess it doesn't matter. But
I don't know.
Ray Donovan.
There you go.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
We just talked about him last, I think 2 weeks ago.
He's hot as shit.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm like, don't worry, I'll fix this. I'm Batman. I'll fix this. So I said, Dustin, I tell you what, why don't you and the girlfriend go? It was right by Katz's Delicatessen. For those of you who know, that's where Harry Met Sally, Billy Crystal, and she faked an orgasm with whatever Meg Ryan. So I'm like, why don't you guys go have a knish?
Yeah, get in line.
Go get in
and
line.
By the time you get through with the
He's
little
like,
punch card,
I'm Dustin Diamond. I don't wait in line for no
Yeah.
knish. They just give me one. So I go, you guys go. So what I do is I call a locksmith, because at the very least I'll have the locks changed, right? Because once you have the locks changed, but I was concerned because to rechange or to change the cylinder lock,
yeah,
typically a landlord or the locksmith will have to say to you, well, I need a lease or something.
right. Yeah, you got to prove you're involved. I mean, otherwise you could sort of just, well, I guess granted you were in the apartment, so that proves something, but it doesn't.
That's what I was banking on.
Yeah, but
so I call, and for those of you who, for some reason, the locksmith industry in New York, they're all Israeli. Every single one of them, they're all Israeli, and they're like young Israeli guys. And so I call, like, some locksmith number, and the guy's like, my name is Avi. I'll be there. Avi, I'll be there in 1 hour. And it was like $400 to have the guy show up, do the lock, and it was like cash only. And anyway, I didn't have the cash. It was turned into of course, now I'm calling the guys at the Lampoon, and I'm like, listen, I need you guys to give me a credit card. And the guy's like, I don't have a credit card because I don't have a credit card. Meanwhile, I've been in the fucking guy's house. The guy bought his house from Share. I've been to the mansion.
wow.
And so this guy's fucking loaded to and he's trying. I know he's trying to fuck me over for he's trying to fuck me over for $400. And
Definitely.
he ended up fucking me over. So
Well,
congratulations.
That's how you get Cher's house.
Dan Lakin, you fucking piece of garbage. And Adam is a sweetheart. I've been to his wedding. Adam was a sweet boy, but Dan, you suck. And anyway, so I ended up paying to have this locksmith show up. So the locksmith shows up, and I'm just keeping that. I'm like worried. The whole time I'm there, I'm worried the guy's gonna be like, "Do you have like a piece of mail or something
Sure.
to show me to?" For
French Israeli.
Yeah, French Israeli. Is that French?
Something.
I am from Tel Aviv, and I want to know Jerusalem. I love Jesus. Anyway, so he goes, yeah, but he didn't say anything. I just kept talking the whole time, and at the end of it, he goes, "Hey, you smoke weed?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I guess." He goes, "Okay, get the," and he goes, "You like Molly?" So now he's selling me drugs. So he goes, "I get," and I'll tell you, Israelis have the best ecstasy in the world. But so I changed the keys. I called Dustin Diamond. I have his phone number, not to brag. And I'm like, "All right, Dustin, come on back." And he comes back, and I said, "Here is the key." So at the very least, I can't promise you someone else isn't going to show up, but no one can get in the apartment if you're in here and the door is locked. So why don't you try to get through the night, and then they'll figure out new accommodations for you tomorrow. Okay, here's a key. I'm sorry for this nonsense. This has nothing to do with me, but this is the best I can do for right now. So there you go. So I called Tobley, Mick Smith. Thank you. And I go, all right, the place, a new key, whatever. So they had to I guess the next day, he moved all his shit out. They already paid, several thousand. They took a bath on Dustin Diamond and they moved him into like some sort of like corporate housing, which was a little more like stable. That was my suggestion in the first place. I was like,
get in the nice sterile corporate
Yeah.
housing.
He's like, I'm staying at a Comfort Inn
Right.
in Dix Hills, Suffolk County, Long Island.
Oh, Jesus.
It's a 3-hour commute in.
Yes.
You guys sending me a helicopter?
Bring him in through they call it Blade. They get
Right.
the chopper
Listen,
him in.
Yeah, we give him a jetpack. Dustin, got to get here. There's a weight limit on this thing. You're gonna have to leave your Batwing girlfriend with those arms. You could probably glide in with the arm fat. But and then I swear to God, I think they fired him like 3 days later. I mean, it was a real
didn't work out anyway.
It's a real blaze of glory.
Jesus.
And then the guys from the Lampoon or Dan wouldn't send me the $400 for the fucking stupid locksmith.
Right.
So I just was like, fuck you. And I quit. I was like, I'm not working anymore.
I'll show that guy.
I showed you, Dan.
I wonder if that's like a scam that they do with, because with subleases, I mean, think about it. If you have a key, I guess you could just double, triple book it or whatever.
I don't even know how.
Or it could have just been an honest mistake too. I don't know. I just feel like nothing like that happens by accident.
Oh, for sure. It wasn't an accident.
There's always weird shit with people showing you an apartment. It's not even theirs and they just get the money.
I don't really understand how it's a tenable way to like run a long-term scam, because let's say you put an ad on Craigslist and you're like, short-term sublet, $2,000 a month. So you got some guy shows up, gives you $2,000, here are the keys, and then what do? You just do it again?
Well, I mean, technically you could just kind of, but then you give them the right key. I
That's
mean,
what I'm saying. So now
then they could always come back to the.
They'd have to come back when someone's in there. I don't see it. It seems like a really shitty scam.
You could do that with an Airbnb. You could just Airbnb something, show it to like 20 people on a weekend.
Oh, dude, I had
sign a fake lease, give out keys that don't work.
I had my old friend Scott, who we've since fallen out of touch in a very spectacular fashion, but he and I used to be very, very good friends, and he was renting a 1-bedroom from in a building in like Dumbo, which is, for those of you who don't know, it's like this area right on the Brooklyn Bridge, and it's kind of a very nice, for some reason it's a really expensive part of Brooklyn, and he was renting a 1-bedroom for like $4,000 a month. And this was an Airbnb first was a thing, and he was like, oh, he's traveling for work, and he was like, I'm gonna do Airbnb in my apartment while I'm not there, and I'm gonna make money and I told him, I was like, dude, I guarantee there's something in your fucking lease that tells you that you are not allowed to sublease your apartment. You can't do it. I guarantee.
I think most of the time when people did that, because I know a guy that did it early on too, and it was it took landlords a while to catch up to it because they weren't even really aware.
But this was a management company.
Oh yeah,
like this was like a brand new nice building, and I remember like he did it like once or twice, maybe 3 times, and he was like charging like $300 a night for his apartment, and he was so fucking stupid about it. He would just be like, he wouldn't even like hide his stuff. He would just like. People would show up and he would just be like his apartment and with his shit and his toothbrush there and whatever. And so anyway, so then he got a call one, and then he was like, he got really greedy. He had a girlfriend, and he was staying at her apartment.
I know a guy that did the same thing. Yeah.
And he was staying at her apartment, and he got a phone call, and it was from like some French family who was in New York, who had like gotten his place on Airbnb, and the doorman in the building was like, yeah, you can't go upstairs. Like, you're not allowed to go upstairs. And the French family was like, what are we to do? We are from Israel.
We're here to sell ecstasy and
we
change locks.
We here to be a locksmith family.
Traveling locksmith.
We traveling locksmith. We are here to see Dustin Diamond. Oh, he's dead?
Oh,
Mon Dieu. What happened to my dreams? So anyway, so then he somehow where he like lost his security deposit, lost his fucking, he had to get out of there in like a day. They were like, get your shit out of there.
Wow, really?
Yeah, he got kicked.
There was no
out.
like,
I think they may have given him like a day to get out.
Jesus Christ.
Well, you're not
I thought
allowed.
It would just be like you can't do that or you would forfeit a deposit
I told
or something.
He asked me, he goes, if I got caught, do you think I'm going to get kicked out? I said, absolutely. The vacancy rate in New York is like 1.5%. If they can throw you out, they're going to throw you out.
100%. Yeah, because they can fill it that afternoon.
in
No problem.
in a New York City
I knew
minute.
a guy that just had a 2-bedroom. I find all of that to be very weird. But I guess, if you don't mind being around random strangers.
Well,
But he had like a 2-bedroom and his roommate moved out and then he just would Airbnb like the second bedroom. And I mean, I think he was turning a profit
oh yeah, you
on
can.
the apartment. But then they caught up to it and you can't do that.
I think there's a law in New York where you can't. There's a law against it in New York. You can't.
now
do it.
now
Yeah.
it's totally
Other cities. I think it's
mostly
fine,
illegal.
but well, it's funny because we have decided what to do for my 50th birthday.
Mm.
So it is going to be May 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th. 5 beautiful nights, and we are going to rent a villa in Punta Cana.
By the way,
Yes.
this is totally random. Well, it's not random. I was looking at some adult material last night.
Oh boy.
And I stumbled across some of the Toticos.
Yes.
And I think Toticos is in or near Punta Cana. I don't know if it's still operating because these videos were from 10 years ago, but I got very excited because I know that you're going.
Well, the consensus with everybody is that if you're going to the Dominican Republic, Punta Cana is the spot to go to. It's the big beach fun party town, and there are these massive villas. I mean, one after another that are like $3,000 a night in May. So the idea is, this guy Sean, friend of mine, Sean, is going to put one of these villas on his credit card, and then everyone's just going to PayPal him. There. So it's going to be like, okay, so figure this: everyone's going to get their own bedroom and their own bathroom. Okay, these homes are typically they're on the beach, or they have infinity pools, or they're really, I mean, they're huge, spectacular, huge.
They have like a staff and stuff, right?
Well, they come with like a chef, usually, and a maid. Right?
Yeah, I've heard of people even have like a driver. Like there's a whole.
Well, there are certainly tiers of like service.
Yeah, but it sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. So and if you think about it, I mean, even if it's 5 nights, if it's 8 guys, if each person kicks in through 200, what is it? What's the math on that? $200 a night. 2 times 8 is 16. So if let's say each person does $250 a night, that's $2,100 a night. That very much puts you in the parameter of like one of these
rarefied. Yeah, because I think I knew a guy, and like I think it was even like, I mean, there was a driver, and this wasn't like they weren't wealthy or anything, but just middle class people. There were drivers, but it was like they went on a guy's trip, and it was like remote, so they were like, "Well, we want some whores." Oh well, and so they just brought in some.
I don't
whores.
know about that, but yeah, I want to
listen.
Do some
I'm not saying that
you're,
but I'm just saying like it was some guys, and they were like, well, it may have been like a bachelor thing. I don't remember, right? But it was like, well, we want some whores, but we don't want to go all the way. It was pretty far to the city, and they brought him in.
Yes. There is a concierge service for deep sea fishing and whoring,
deep sea chicas.
Look, make something abundantly clear. This is a house that's going to be like because I went to the DR for my 40th and it was kind of a shit show, and that was in Puerto Playa. And Paul and I had some laughs, and that was kind of fun, but that trip sucked. So the idea behind this is, look, 8 guys, maybe 10 guys. We'll see. I know you can't go, but you're gonna get the email with the breakdown, and of what it is. But each person will get their own bedroom and their own bathroom. And if you want to get involved in whatever the fuck you want to get involved in, 1,000,000%. You go right ahead.
Questions.
You're gonna have your own bedroom, your own bathroom. You go. I'm not helping anybody bury a body, but there's also going to be a it's right on the beach. There is apparently there's something really cool where you can do like an ATV like jungle tour. That sounds kind of fun. Yeah. So and the town of Punta Cana, there's all kind of nonsense. And then on one of the days, we're going to have like a big stupid birthday party for me because I'm 50. So that is what it is. So I have like Rocky who is the guy that I lost my virginity with, the Indian guy.
Rakesh
is gonna.
is he coming?
Yep.
Oh my god.
Well, yeah. I talked to him last night.
It's gonna be like a crazy reunion. Have you've seen Rakesh?
I have not
though.
seen Rakesh in 10, 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's been a while. Yeah. So,
oh wow.
but he's not. He does really way. He's like a big fucking deal at
Sure.
Amazon, and he's not married, and he has no kids. So
this would be great.
yes.
I
So,
wish I was fucking
Well,
single. I would totally go.
well, I mean, you don't have to. You can have a girlfriend. There's a guy that I know that.
Oh no, I know, but you know how it is when you're kind of like, if I'm I'm gonna decline that. We got a phone call because you know when you're like due for a vacation, you can't get away by yourself without feeling guilty.
What
I'm
I have
kind of in that.
Yeah, I mean, you're younger than I am, but like apparently your 50th birthday is kind of a silver bullet.
Oh yeah,
so
100%.
So you got to go listen. I get Brian.
Sure.
We work together, and he's blind. You know, he has Hodgkin's disease.
Yeah,
you know, he knows
Gotta
Screech.
really work.
He's still broken up about Screech.
That fucking locksmith money.
Hey, you like to come to my locksmith party? But yeah, so that's the idea. But again, to your point, like Sean, this the guy that is kind of helped me put the house together, at least. A lot of these homes, they come with like a concierge service. So you show up and there's someone who is like they're called a super host, and the super host will stock the house with food and drinks and whatever, and they'll also recommend, you know, like two of the guys, like they want to play golf. Guess what? Go play fucking golf. I don't care. I mean, sounds like a horrible way to waste 6 hours, but go right ahead. And a lot of these houses are on a golf course or they're whatever. So yeah, so that's what that seems to be because like I have my friend Jimmy Spoons who lives in Hungary, and he was like, you got to come to Hungary. I'm like, I can't go to fucking Hungary. I can't wrap my head around all those hippos, all those Hungary hippos. Yeah, it's terrifying. So can't really figure any of that out. So it's you know, it seems like the easiest thing to do. So as long as the email's going to go out. I mean, Paul Dindon certainly down. A couple of other people I know are confirmed, pretty well confirmed, and that's it. And then everyone can just show up, and they'll have the address of the house, and they just show up at the house, and there you go.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
The only thing that's a trick is like people have to agree, or they have to be able to have the time to come for the 5 nights, because if it's 3, then it becomes like you got to this person. It has to be 5 nights. Everyone pays the same for a room, and that's fucking that. I don't even care as long as I have a room with my own bathroom. I don't need the master suite. I don't give a shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to make sure I have my own room, my own bathroom. That's all I'm worried about. That's all I'm worried about. So
that's all I need.
Anyway, why don't we say hi to anybody?
Yeah, we got to say hi to some folks, and then we'll go.
By the way, we've gotten a lot of nice comments.
Oh yeah, we'll read them on the Patreon.
Yes.
Yeah.
People have been enjoying the Patreon, so please, I encourage you, if you like this show, join the Patreon. I know it seems like a lot. People seem like, because I get annoyed like nickel and diming. You know what I did yesterday? This is embarrassing. I joined X Videos for $10.
Okay.
Just to see why. Just because I feel like I've jerked off so much for free that I feel like I should put a little something.
Give back.
I should give back a little, and I did it, and it seems like a waste of time. So I immediately canceled, and because I was looking for something in particular, and I've been excited by accidental cream pies.
Meaning like the guy he didn't.
Do I really have to explain accidental?
Well, because accidental sounds funny, like
whoa,
like it accidentally slipped in you.
Well, that's one of them. That is a scenario that's very popular. Like if you Google search accidental cream pie POV stepmom, it's like, okay, son, I'm going to show you how to do this, but don't come in me. And then, you know, spoiler alert, he comes in.
Right.
And, you know, I like that.
I just think of like, if you think about it, it's like accidental car rental or something where it's like, it's kind of like, how do you accidentally, you know, fuck somebody and then but I get it. It's the accidental part is just the very end.
Or there is also, there are subgenres of, by the way, I know that I probably haven't sold a t-shirt in months. I haven't even checked, but I would love to make a t-shirt that just said accidental cream pie on it. I think that'd be so, because you'd have to really know what it is.
Accidental. I've never seen those words even next to each other.
Maybe I'll do it.
Occasionally I will see on Pornhub, there'll be videos where it's like you got to be a subscriber, but I've never noticed it on on X videos where there's
Yeah.
like premium, but
Yeah.
I'm sure it is. I'm not like.
I don't even know why. I just did it. I don't know. I was bored last night. And I was like, I'll
Mhm.
give him $10. I
Sure.
don't know. I'll do it.
Would you use the PayPal for that, or how do you?
No. You have to use a Visa.
Oh, why
'cause
you
I-
got to get out the physical card?
Yeah.
That's usually the threshold for me. If I got to get out the card, I usually won't do it.
Well, usually you have a ball gag in your mouth.
Yeah, well, I'm suspended. by,
You got a vibrating egg in your ass. You're like,
oh
I
yeah.
can't get my Discover.
I don't know where the card is.
I can't get my Discover
If
card.
if I can't just double click for Apple Pay or
I don't think Apple Pay will do porn stuff. I don't think they will.
Yeah, no. I don't think probably not PayPal either. Most of the major things don't want to have anything to do with adults. Anything.
And I think it's only because of the cashback. I think it's only because of the chargebacks.
Oh, okay.
Because
Yeah, maybe
people
buyer's
are
remorse.
like, people do it and
People come and
they're like listen,
come and then immediately dispute
accidental charge, accidental cream charge.
They're like, why did it take 7.5 minutes exactly?
Well, I tell you one thing. X video made it really easy to cancel. They were like, if you don't want to do this, no problem. Just click here. Don't fucking go call Visa.
If you don't want to do that, seriously, if you don't, it's probably
Sure
not
you
a good
wanna do this?
idea.
You realize
Yes.
most of this is free, right, dummy? Come
Right.
on.
Right.
This is an email to a place in Belarus.
They try to talk. Yeah, they're trying to talk you out.
Because I joined for $10, or it's $10 a month, which seems ridiculous, or $80 a year. So I joined for the $10 a month, and then I immediately canceled. So I have access to whatever it's like X Video Red, I think it's called.
Yeah. I think. Yeah.
I don't know, but I had to pick like a username. It was a pain in the ass because I had to give a username,
Sure.
and then a password.
69.
And then right. And then right, Hitler Kisser 777. And then I had to do a username and password and then a verification code, which was like timed. It was like trying to get in a NORAD or something.
Well, yeah, probably because it's when it's something like that, they have to kind of do super secret security so that people don't use their parents.
I suppose. I don't know. But anyway, so another accidental cream pie one is where like a guy, like there's one, this is actually a lot of fun. Guy like met a girl in the street and he's like, hey, let's like, it all feels very, listen, people should get Oscars, man.
Yeah.
And the girl,
I love good acting. Porn acting.
Especially because less is more, just a little bit. 100%. She goes, listen, go back, and they're fucking, and he goes, hey, let's fucking. She goes, you have a condom, and he goes, yeah, and he puts it on, and then at a certain point, you see him pull out, and he takes a condom off, and he still fucks her, and she's like, oh my god, this feels so great, and he's like, yeah, it sure does, and then he blows his load in her, and she's like, what did you do? And he's like, I took the condom off. I don't know.
What did you do?
Now you have AIDS. No, it's not. Now you've got the AIDS that I have.
Right.
Yeah.
So
when we come back, I've got a couple of good ones when we come back.
Top 10 accidental cream pies. Counting them. We're counting them
Counting them down. Number 10.
Going out to Jimmy in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Number 10. I ruined my shorts. Number 9. Now you have a baby. Number 8. Push it out of your butthole. Number 7. Yummy, yummy in my cummy tummy.
Yeah. All right. Let me just give a shout out to a couple of people here.
So anyway, join the Patreon, whatever.
Yeah, join the Patreon, patreon.com/Brian McCarthy. It only takes a second.
Kind of
you can use your PayPal.
You can use PayPal.
No verification code, I don't think.
No, it doesn't.
None of this dodgy X videos red.
Because I tried to use one card and it was like, it's a MasterCard. I can't use that. And then I used a Visa. And then I was trying to enter the verification code. Dude, it took me like a half an hour to figure out how to do this whole fucking thing. Yeah. And then I did it and immediately canceled. So what was the point?
Hello to Ted. Hello
Ted.
to Jimmy.
Hi, Jimmy.
Hello to James R. James R says Brian knows Liquid Todd.
Yeah, James.
He was on the show.
Yeah, I know Liquid Todd very well. He lives 40 blocks from here.
Hello to Bad at Riffing. Bad at Riffing asks, would you let me put it up on the screen. Would you guys rather F Chrissy Monroe or Keanu?
Oh, good question. Keanu.
Yeah, I'd have to say Keanu.
I just think Keanu is a filthy pig. And I think Chrissy.
I mean, Chrissy. I hate to get into it physically. Well, physically, I would probably prefer
Chrissy.
But if there's any kind of interacting or talking at all, I guess I'd have to go Keanu.
At some point, I have to read, like, she's going to read me a poem or something. Or
I can't talk to Chrissy Monroe.
No. Keanu will eat your asshole too. Like you can fart in her face or something. Not that I would fart in her face. And by the way, my asshole is a mess. I would. She'd go down there. I'd be like, no, baby.
Uh-huh.
No.
Hello to Steve, our
Hi,
buddy
Steve.
Steve.
What's up, Steve?
From Down Under.
Hello. And we won't do it.
By
Steve.
the way, I started working with this publicist that's from Perth.
Perth.
What a great fucking accent.
That's a weird town.
Yeah, it's way the fuck over there. But it's almost
It's
like
a mining town.
You know, it almost feels like you know, if you met somebody from the South here that was like from Mississippi or something, like they're like the most American. That it feels like that
They're the
for
most Australian.
Yeah, like they're just like talking about dingoes and
Yeah, well,
good-
it's
good
really
stuff.
apparently the statistic for Perth. It's the biggest city farthest away from like anywhere else.
it's the most like remote or
Yeah, it's like a
but
million-
largest remote.
It's like 1 million people live in Perth, and
Yeah.
then it's like another 3,000 miles
Sure.
to anywhere else. So it's
Wow.
really in the middle of nowhere. It's all so.
Hello to Colin says, "Hey, sexy boys with 4 Z's."
Hey, Colin. What's
Colin
up,
gets
girl?
Colin gets us.
You get it.
Rohi says, "Fuck Zumok."
Oh yeah, for sure. Fuck Zumok.
And Dick
Guy has-
Laurent says, "Stop corrupting Andy." I'm Andy.
Oh,
Because we had Bubba the Love Sponge on MLC, and he called me Andy. And
you had Bubba the Love Sponge on that show?
This was a while back.
How far ago? How far ago?
How far? Probably 2 months. No.
Okay.
6 months. ago?
Wow. Okay. Bubba.
Yeah.
I know that guy. He's the one who let his wife fuck Hulk
Yeah.
Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
That's so crazy.
We
And
talked
then-
a little bit about
and then
that.
he leaked the video.
But he didn't.
Here's the
do it.
deal. Oh,
It was I guess stolen from his office.
oh, whatever.
Apparently, Mike Kelta had something to do
Oh,
with it.
come on. It's all such.
don't know.
It's all. They're all such fucking
Salacious,
weirdos.
But anyways,
I know. It's funny. Yeah. And by the way, no one. And you are as corrupted as you want to be. No one. I can't tell you to do anything.
but that was fucking crazy. It was like fucking 64 mil. What was it? It was a crazy amount of money that he sued Gawker for.
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, Hulk
Yeah, and he
Hogan
won.
won. Yeah. Did you see the documentary about that?
No.
It's fucking amazing because
Okay.
he's on the stand and they're like, but did you not say on a television show or radio that you have a 14-inch penis and you said you slapped a woman? And he's like, Hulk Hogan said that. Terry did not, because he's like, that's a character.
Yeah.
So to hear him on the stand just talking like a normal guy
Yeah.
without like a rip, it was really
He didn't wear
fascinating.
formal. I tell you, I don't like Jeffrey Ross, but there was some roast, and Jeffrey Ross was like, Hulk Hogan, you dress like a Hooters waitress. Or maybe it was Greg Giraldo. It was very funny.
Pretty good.
Yeah. But was Bubba in town?
No, it was
Oh,
just I
zone.
think he and Bob knew each other or something.
Okay.
So, and it
Mm.
was like Kevin was in a feud with Mike Kelta, and so
Christ.
they had him on to talk. But I was like, wow, like it was almost haunting because you hear the legend of.
I think he does DoorDash now. Bubba does.
Bubba apparently does really well for himself.
Good. I'm glad.
He's got like
Good.
he's got a radio show, and
All
yeah,
right.
he was
But
in a
he was
big
talking about doing
fancy-
DoorDash for a while. Here's the deal.
What?
The DoorDash
Really?
deal. The DoorDash deal. Yeah, I know. I only know that because maybe it was a work. Dude. It's all such like you believe 2 things out of 10 things that
right.
who knows. But
Mhm.
I know that he had a big deal, fucking radio career, and then he got arrested for killing a pig. It's a long time ago on the air, and then he had this Sirius XM show where he was on Howard's channel. Then that stopped, and then I don't know. Like I can't really keep up, but I guess now he's doing his own
Yeah.
thing. Maybe
I think he's got a loyal enough
Good.
following
Well,
that
good.
his people, you can do whatever
Sure,
you
they're
want.
probably Compound Media. It's probably a bit of a crossover with that audience or something. They're
There's
like
probably
we're
some.
not as racist, but we do love killing pigs.
Mm.
But enough about Chrissy Monroe.
But,
Oh, burp, 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 burp.
all right, let's do it.
Okay, everybody,
Behind the
listen.
beaten
Thank you.
curtain.
We're gonna get out of here. So have a lovely weekend. It's Black History Month. That's what you've seen behind us. So that's it. So if you know any black people want to be my friend, I have plenty of black friends. Christ,
I have like 3, but I also don't have a lot of like
Friends.
Friends.
Yeah.
I have quality over quantity.
I understand.
But 25% of them are black. I'll say.
I'll take that number.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, everybody. Thank you. Goodbye. Goodbye.